there's still like a 50% chance that it's actually Taylor coming onto this thing.
Really? Oh, we have a skeptic. We have a skeptic.
So I'm impressed that you knew it was going to be an album drop or announcement.
I mean, I didn't know for sure, but like I just like felt that it was going to be one.
There we go.
Hello and welcome to Tay. My name is Katie and I'm with my co-host Ashley. We are Tay podcast. We're not therapy, we are a good time. And we're here today for a Swiftie chat because if you are a Swiftie, you know there's been a major upset in the Swiftie world with a new drop of a new album coming out October 3rd, The Life of a Showgirl. Ashley and I cannot wait to get into it and talk about all the things. So Ashley, start us off. Where do we even begin with our Swiftie chat today?
Where were you when you found out that there was going to be a football podcast?
In bed. I was in bed.
What was your, walk me through the emotional roller coaster.
um, I I like as soon as we got the teaser about like a New Heights podcast, and then it was like an orange background with like a Taylor like silhouette, I was like, she's announcing this is happening. And in my mind, it wasn't even a question of whether or not it was an album. Like I like felt it in my bones. This was going to be an album, and Taylor was going to be the guest. I just felt like I knew it.
Wow. I'm so impressed.
You're
I,
shocked? You seem surprised.
yeah, I did not, I thought maybe, but I did not go that far with it. I'm a little bit skeptical these days of like potential Easter eggs. Like I know I'm out there on our Instagram every once in a while and I'm like, "Hey guys, what do we think?" Because I get my hopes up sometimes, but I was like, "Okay, I even with the silhouette, I was like, there's still like a 50% chance that it's actually Taylor coming onto this thing."
Really? Oh, we have a skeptic. We have a skeptic.
So I'm impressed that you knew it was going to be an album drop or announcement.
I mean I didn't know for sure, but like I just like felt that it was going to be one. Right? Like with especially like when because before the football podcast, there were the see you next era like caption, and then there was 12 photos with 12 orange outfits from the Eras tour on like the photo carousel, and I was like, this is it. Like it's happening. It's 100% happening. And then when we got like the teaser from New Heights, I was like, this is where it's going to happen. So in my mind, I was like, this is the timing, like 12/12. And then like, it just, in my mind, I was like, this has got to be it. Because this is not,
Okay.
it didn't feel Easter eggy to me. It felt like anticipation build up, which is
Okay.
very different than like a little tease. I don't know. I just felt different. I don't know. I had a vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was on vacation, as you know, and so
Mhm.
I had this real tension between how much of a vacation am I taking from being a Swiftie? Like I was trying to take a vacation from most things,
Yes.
but it's really hard for me to take a vacation from big announcements like this. So I was really like, do I keep the Wi-Fi on? Do I turn the Wi-Fi off? Do I? And so I missed some of the like extra pieces to this. I had forgotten about Taylor Nation and the things that were happening. So there, yeah, all that to say, there was a lot of like distraction for me during this week. But Katie, what how do we even process this 2 hour interview of just gold?
Tell me how did you go about like listening to it? Like, what was your process? I feel like there were the YouTube streamers, there were the clip watchers, there was like the, like Apple Music or Spotify or whatever, like wherever you get your podcasts. Like, there were people who listen to it all at once, there were people who listen to it in chunks, like people right at 7 p.m. There were when it dropped, there were people who went later. Like, how did you approach listening to this 2 hour podcast?
So, how I approached to this on vacation is not how I would have approached it if I were home. Had I been
Tell
home,
me.
they can't plans would have been like I would have been fully present the evening of the podcast release, right? Like
Mhm.
I wouldn't have changed plans, but I would have made sure that like I'm home if
Mhm.
need be. And
Yes.
then just like take it all in, right? All at once.
Mhm.
Completely. Like some people can't
Okay.
didn't listen to the full thing, but I'm like a I need to see it all.
Mhm. Mhm.
That would be home version. Because I was on vacation, I wanted to enjoy vacation. So I watched the majority of it all at once, but then like I did have to kind of break it up the rest of the time too. So
Mhm.
I'm considering rewatching it,
Girl, same. Literally same. 100% same.
which I
This is
can't
on the one
tell.
extreme for me.
I can't tell if that's like a healthy desire or not, but the desire is there.
No judgment zone. Absolutely none. You do you, boo. You live your life. You stream as many times as you want. I mean, we already know that like a billion of like the TTV streams were Travis. So a billion of these YouTube streams could be Ashley. Anything's possible.
It is. And I was really negotiating with myself like you rewatch movies, Ashley. You can totally rewatch this interview.
Yeah, it's better than a
Oh.
movie. So what are you?
Yeah, right, right. Some are calling it a FaceTime call, which I love.
Yes, I do too. I do too. I
Cracks
really
me
love
up.
that analogy.
How about you, Katie? How did you take it all in?
Yeah, so I had a very full week at work, and the day it dropped was actually like my longest work day of that week. And I just knew that like my mental and emotional capacity was going to be a little bit lower that day just because as all therapists know, when you're done talking to people nonstop all day, like your mental energy is shot. Like it's not there. So I like was very disciplined and I told myself like I could not leave the office until my notes were done and I couldn't listen to the podcast until my notes were done. So I was like very like that was like the fastest I've ever done my notes because I was like because I knew what to start that podcast. Like this paperwork would get pushed off forever. So
That
I
is
like completed my
discipline.
notes, wrapped up, got in the car, got all settled to listen on my like drive home. So it was listening for me, not watching, because I wanted to start it like on the drive home, and obviously I'm not going to watch a video while
Watch
I
it.
drive because
Mhm.
I'm going to be safe. So I listened to it, but I have to tell you, I was beaming the whole time. My face was just glowing. And then when I got home, I decided to pause it and I wanted to just kind of relax and enjoy like an evening at home because I there were stuff I needed to do when I got home. There I need to talk to my husband, like there were all kinds of things. So I decided at that moment that I was going to treat this like a 5 course meal. And I was going to have a course each time I listened to it rather than all at once, which was super fun. Now, did that stop me from jumping onto the internet and like looking for clips that talked about things I hadn't heard yet? Yes, obviously. But I decided that I just wanted to like savor each experience like a little treat and treat myself to like various like chunks of this podcast.
So how did you do that? How like what were the chunks that you decided on?
Like if I was doing housework, I would like listen to it, or I would, if I was just like relaxing or doing something, I'd listen to it, or if I was going for a walk, I would listen to it, just like at different portions where I had like the mental capacity. And usually for me, that's like while like my hands are busy doing something, and then my mind is like occupied.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And like you,
Aw.
I will be listening multiple times.
That's amazing. Okay. So anything from the podcast that stuck out to you that is still kind of like ringing in your mind?
Wow. It's hard to pick a topic, to be honest, because there's so much. Obviously, the announcement of the new album, the dynamic between her and Travis and Jason, like I just that whole relational dynamic just like is so compelling. I think it just pulls people in. Like you feel like you're in the room with them and that like at any moment you could join the conversation because the energy is so good. So that's one thing that like has definitely stuck out to me. Um I'll be honest, I'm on the Easter egg train. I can't imagine that Taylor like would not Easter egg in an event like this. So there were specific words or phrases or numbers that were mentioned that definitely got my like little Swiftie Easter egg brain buzzing.
Hmm.
And then I think, to be honest, the other component I kept thinking about was just how normal and not normal her life is. Like, I was like, baking bread. I've made bread. What? You like to paint and like craft things? I also like to craft and paint things. Like, we are the same person. And then, like, she talks about traveling the world, and I'm like, we are not the same.
Oh, because
Hmm.
there's a couple of dynamics coming to mind. One, let's say Travis doesn't make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
girlfriend's gonna make the Super Bowl, but he's not.
Literally at his last year. Like, yikes.
Um, so that, I mean, that wouldn't matter. That's not going to change the decision, but that's like an odd thing part of it. And then another thing is like, what would she perform? Because like the things that I maybe her new stuff. Maybe it seems like that'll be pretty upbeat, but it's not like she's gonna go up there and do like the 10-minute version of All Too Well, which is like my favorite, right? Like
Yes,
it's not,
yes.
that's not gonna work. So she has plenty of music. It's just like I just like I can't quite picture like after the Eras tour, it's like how do you I don't know. Anyway, it's hard to
Oh, I have
picture.
an answer to this.
What'd you say?
I think I have an answer to this. Keep going though.
No, I want to hear it.
Mashups.
Oh.
Mashups. I don't think she would do complete songs. I think she would mash up a bunch of different
Yeah.
songs. So who was that like producer that like it's like 13 minutes or whatever on YouTube and it's like mashups of like all of her songs.
Mm.
Whoever that, if a listener knows who they are, you can tag them in the comments. But this I think she would do mashups of like her biggest hits. I do. I do.
Okay.
I think it would include showgirl music.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Um, yeah, I think seeing them interact on the podcast was really fun. Like it felt like dessert. Just
Yeah,
like,
like a sweet treat.
yeah, it was like, ah, like you guys are kind of cheesy and cute.
So cute.
I felt a little bit bad for Jason sometimes because he was asking such good questions, but like, how do you even, yeah, it was so good.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think those are the main things. I just like you, I'm like, okay, what are we missing? What lyrics from the new album are in here? You know, like we will need to dissect all of
Hmm.
that once Showgirl comes out.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so what are your thoughts on the potential of this being a double album?
I'm very open to it. I I feel like I am not skeptical at all when it comes to Easter eggs. I'm just like all in. Some of them are a little out there, and some of them I'm like, I feel like you had to like create some hoops and jump through them to come to that conclusion. But I think that like it's just so fun for me to like get on the train and just like see where it takes me. So like when it comes to Easter eggs, I'm like, yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, that'll probably happen. She did make such a firm point about there only being 12 songs on this album.
I know.
But then she kept flashing like the peace sign or like, two fingers, which then like made me question. And then of course there was that like famous like Pinocchio figurine in the background, right? With like the X's over the eyes and Jiminy Cricket. And then she talked about a cricket and like, and that's here and that's over there. And like, how did it get there? And I was like, that seems like a weird thing to say. Like,
I completely missed all of that.
oh yeah, okay. So, girl, because like I said, my screen time this week, none of my business. Because I am like, if there's a Taylor Swift like reel or TikTok, like I've been watching it. Like,
I do know because I took a break from Instagram and had like 30 reels from you. I'm
I
sitting in the airport just like one
so
by one.
hard. I did. I did. And believe it or not, like when cause like Ashley when she was on vacation was like, okay, I think I'm just gonna focus on being on vacation for a while and I'm gonna like turn off my Wi-Fi. I'm not gonna be checking my reels. And I was like, totally. And she was like, keep sending me stuff, I just won't check it. I actually did back off from sending and I just was like, okay, only the cream of the crop. Like the best of the best. Like Ashley. So I got more selective if you can believe it. I still probably sent you 30 or 40.
You really did. Thank you for sifting through all the information for me so that I didn't have to do it.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Let me tell you.
Oh my goodness. No, I loved it. It made me so happy. And yeah, that was a great experience to go through all
Yeah.
of it. One that I feel like we have to mention, I kind of want to find it actually. Um, okay. I know that this is going to take time, but I think it will be worth it because I'm just going to keep talking as I'm looking. Because
Okay.
I think it'll be worth it because of the Therate lore that we have going about you and your relationship to animals. Here it is. I feel like a feral raccoon gnawing at the bars of my TS12 themed enclosure.
What? Wait,
You sent that to me.
I did? I literally don't remember saying that. Like I
That
said,
was,
I have no memory of saying that whatsoever, but
you
that
have
sounds like,
that amnesia from all the information that was.
yeah, yeah.
So shout out to Ale Too Well and T Swift Dance Party CA for that particular one. That was a classic.
So classic. Can I just say how grateful I am to all the Swiftie influencers out there who like dissect information and like publish it on their pages? Like, thank you. You are the VPs. You are the heroes. I appreciate you. I will not do what you do, but I will consume everything that you make. Like,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
shout out. There's a handful of you that I follow and I love you all and you do a great job and I have a lot of fun with it.
Yes. Yeah, definitely agree.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So wait, where were we? I'm like on the reels. You
The
asked me
double album. The double album.
the double album. Oh yeah. So like I don't know. On one hand, I'm like, would Taylor outright lie to us? Hmm. It's not outside the realm of possibility. I mean, like,
Because yeah, go ahead.
no, keep going.
So here's the only reason I'm thinking it's possible.
Hmm.
She could not have lied, and it could still be a double album because of the Statue of Liberty theory.
Yes.
This is the coppery gold sparkly,
Hmm.
as we all likely know, that the Statue of Liberty started out copper. Over
Hmm.
time, it changes to like the turquoise green color.
Hmm.
So she could very well say on album,
Hmm.
this album is a cohesive 12 songs that all go really well together.
Hmm.
There could be another album that is a cohesive 12 songs that all go
Hmm.
really well together. That
Hmm.
could be like the turquoise.
Hmm.
That's the only thing that I'm thinking.
Yes. 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 Agreed. Agreed. So I think that's a really good theory. Um, and I think I'm with you that like it wouldn't be like an outright lie, but it would definitely be like a half truth. Something else is going on here. But also the Pinocchio in the background because like I've watched quite a few reels of people who are dissecting the background,
Thank
people who
goodness.
like specially like curated for this podcast, right? everything from like the books and the figurines and like the merchandise items and like all kinds of like specific things. Like that's sending a message, that's curating. And like I cannot imagine that Travis and Jason would pass up an opportunity to like use specific words or phrases to Easter egg. Like you know they'd be in on that. Like, are you kidding me? How would you not, right? So I and we still have Female Rage the musical, right? Trademarked. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not going to rule it out. I'm not going to rule it out because this woman is extra. And I know when she was talking about like her tendency is to create like a lot of work, like a large volume, and then she like sifts from there. But like her tendency is just like make a lot, put a lot out there. And on this one, she wanted like a tight concept, a tight album, like keep it, like edit it, don't overdo it. And so there's part of me that's like, I bet you would do, but I'm not sure if that's all that you did. If that makes sense. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there's more. I just wouldn't.
Yeah. You mean to tell me the girl who wrote TTPD that has 31 songs on it was like, you know what? This time I'm gonna do 12.
And only 12.
I, if that's true, there's got to be a lot that was pushed into the vault that did not. I truly can't imagine. And here's how my mind works. Do you think Jack Antonoff's feelings were hurt?
No, no, I do not buy
Probably
into that
not,
at all.
right?
I literally don't. I literally don't buy into that at all. I really don't. I think it's
Not that
funny
it,
to like make it a joke, but I really don't think that's the case. I don't think he's butthurt.
I'm sure he's fine. Like, he knows that this is an industry. It's just that they're friends, you know?
They're friends, they're professionals, and I really do think that yeah, I just feel like who's to say that he wasn't like busy on another project or had something else going on or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like I just don't think that he's over here like sad that he wasn't on this album. I really don't.
I mean,
I don't think we've seen the last of Jack either. Like I do think that
no,
he will come back in future music. He's an incredible producer. I'm actually really happy that this is a Martin and Shellback produced album. I'm really excited for these bangers. I think they're going to be amazing.
me
And we've
too.
had a lot of Jack, so I'm ready for a difference. It's not that I don't like Jack. I'm just ready for something fresh, something that it's been a while since we've heard. I mean, Martin and Shellback aren't fresh. We've heard them before, but like
It's been a while.
it's been a while, right? And like she said, like they've all matured as artists. Like she's like, Shellback and I were in our 20s, and like now we're all kind of like on the same page in terms of like our expertise. And I really think they leveled up on this one. So I'm pumped for it.
Oh, I am
However, this
too.
idea of a documentary,
Oh,
I could see that happening. So I'm really not convinced that we're only going to get the album. I think there's going to be something else associated with it. I just don't know what else that the other thing is going to be.
interesting. I did notice in the background, I didn't look super close, but I noticed the white background with the darkish TS,
Mm-hmm.
and then the orange one at the top, and then the maroonish one.
Yeah, like the four colors that people keep talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 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 There's something going on. There's something happening. I don't know what, but there's something more coming. I don't think like Taylor is the most extra person I know, and she fully embraces that part of herself. The woman has no chill. She has no ability to like hold herself back. She's all in. And so I am not convinced that we are only getting 12 songs and nothing else. She could surprise me. I think we're gonna get something more. I do. I do. Because she did say that like she's wanted to do this for years. That being said, I have to ask you, what are your thoughts about TS12 originally supposed to be TS11? Because people are saying that they think that TTPD interrupted and got released what it was supposed to be because they're going back to like the anti-hero video and like her wearing the white and then her like the showgirl album which is like so like even back then like she was planning right and teasing like I think that like anti-hero does like show us right but What do you think? Was TTB an interruption or was that always the plan?
So here's why I am not convinced that that's the case because if she recorded this on the European leg, Midnight's had been out for quite some time.
Hmm.
Like, do you think she came up with the color and the concept before she came up with the songs?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I do. Hmm.
Okay.
100%.
Well, I do
100%.
think that I'm going back and forth one moment. I do think that TTPD was an interruption. I think TTPD happened because of her life. I think she needed the therapy of
Hmm.
writing it.
Hmm.
So I totally can see it interrupting. I don't think TTPD was planned. Um, but could she have been Easter egging that hard for like that early for something that she wrote on the European leg? I don't, because there's so much to writing an album. Like you go in, to my
Hmm.
understanding, now obviously she's Taylor. I'm sure she's constantly writing music, but you like go in the studio, it's like a collaborative thing. It's
Hmm.
not like here's the things that we're going to record today, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Can I explain a little bit why I think like maybe she puts like the colors and all that long before the music is like written?
Yeah.
Because like when it comes to event planning, you put a lot of information out before you actually have the thing done, right? So like for example, if you're gonna run an event, you will start teasing it. Like you'll get your venue, you'll get your artists, you'll get like all like the main like pieces put together, right? And then you start advertising, but you're still like coordinating hundreds of details with like the event is not fully formed yet. You've just like you might even be selling tickets, but you're still like coordinating food and you're coordinating, seating and like all the details around it, right? Think of like
Hmm.
even planning like a wedding, right? You're gonna like tell people to plan on this, but like by the time you're sending out invites and save the dates, you probably only just have like a venue booked and maybe a dress and like maybe a photographer, like there's still a million
Hmm.
details. I think that albums work the same way, where she was probably like planning and teasing, knowing and like conceptually creating, but not necessarily like songwriting or producing yet. And
I think
I,
I'm struggling with this concept for this one specifically. Like,
yeah,
I believe that for a lot of the albums,
mm-hmm,
but for this one to be so sparkly and showgirl focused, she didn't
mm-hmm.
know, like, she had an idea about eras and like how popular it would be, but like, nobody could have predicted the absolute impact that eras had. I think even she was surprised.
Okay, this is where I go back and forth because there's part of me that sits here and thinks to myself, she genuinely is surprised at the success. And there's another part of me that, from a business perspective, I think she knows the full weight of her power in the industry. I think she's very aware of that. So like I feel like there's a little bit of like a mix of like, like when Travis was doing that big intro, or sorry, Jason was doing that big intro, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, really? Like 1.67 billion streams or whatever." Like, and it was a billion plus. I don't know if it was 1.67 billion, but like that surprise, I'm like, you may not hold that stat in your head, but like you knew that. You knew that. You're Taylor freaking Swift. Like, I think she I think she knows her own power. I think she knows her own influence in the industry. And I think she remains really humble and grateful about it. And I think that she potentially stays kind of like I choose to remain surprised, right? And I think she genuinely is surprised that like at the specific thing fans did, right? The things that she talked about, like the friendship bracelets or the willow orbs. Like, I think she genuinely was like, wow, no way. Like, people did this. Like, that's amazing. I can't imagine this or whatever. And the other part of me is like, yeah, but your fans do things like this. And you know that about your fans because you know us really, really well because you study us and you build a relationship with us. So, like, were you surprised at the specific things that were done? Like, yes. Were you surprised that your fan would base would do something like that? No.
Hmm.
I, I don't know. I'm push back. I'm willing to hear it.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I agree with you that she knows her power in the industry. I agree with you that she knows her fans very well. She did say that she and her team prepared Ticketmaster to say, like, just so you guys know, this is going to go really quickly.
Mhm.
I don't know. I go back and forth. I
Yeah,
think some things Taylor plans, I think other things
yeah,
happen to go really well.
I agree. I agree because like you can't fully predict. Like I really don't think that she. I mean, I don't. I feel very confident that she had no idea the Ticketmaster fiasco was going to be as bad as it was. Like I think she never would. She did not want that for her fans. I know she didn't. She said she didn't. So like there was no, so you're right. And I think I'm constantly surprised sometimes when I hear like Taylor talk or when I learn about her, like how much she plans, but then how much was like, hey, that's cool, let's just do that. Like the cover of 1989, it was just like I just randomly happened to be wearing a like a sweatshirt with seagulls on it. And then we took this like blurry photo as like a test photo or whatever just for fun. And it was like, oh yeah, let's make that one the album cover. And you're like, what? What? You casually chose a blurry photo that was like a test, like with some random outfit you were wearing. Like, what? Like stuff like that. I'm like, are you kidding me? That wasn't planned. On the other hand, so much is planned. So like, I don't know. I guess
Hmm.
I guess we'll
Hmm.
never really know unless she decides to share that information. The other part of me is like, she did make a reference of TTTB taking like 2 to 3 years. And I could see that because the album has so many themes, right? It's everything from like, you know, I'm so mad at you, F you, like Maddie Healy, to like, I'm in love with Travis, to like, Kim Kardashian, here's how I really feel about you. Like, to like Robin, right, where she's singing about Aaron Dessner's son and like how precious he is. Like I just
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah. And yeah, that's a good point too. The albums do take a while, right? To go from an idea to here's something you can purchase and listen to. Um, Look at us talking like we know the music industry.
like
It's
like
only
we know
because we're
everything at
Taylor
all.
fans.
We're for sure talking out of our butts. At least I am.
Yeah. What else did you want to process?
I am really curious about the mental health themes of this podcast. Like, what did you pick up on?
Two things that have really stood out to me mental health wise. One, her saying a headline can have my name in it and it can be none of my business. That's what I like to call an internal boundary.
Yes, girl.
It was really good to hear her say that.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
so funny that Travis was like, I'd rather hear sourdough puns. And she was like, you will, and that's a promise.
And then she did. She delivered so good.
She did. Okay, side note. She quoted her own songs so many times that I was like, she really is just like me. I'm just like her. Like, I do that all the
You
time.
quote yourself.
No,
What are you saying?
I quote Taylor Swift songs all the time. I don't quote myself.
I said something once and that was really profound. I'm gonna keep saying
As the great philosopher Ashley once said.
I mean, I'd quote you.
Oh, yeah. So I thought that was really good. And then what was the other? Oh, your energy is expensive.
Yes,
Be careful where you spend it. That was really good too.
not everyone can afford it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What were your thoughts?
Fire. Same. I'm with you on both of those. 100% love them. Um, I was really struck by how careful she is to navigate her online presence and to keep her life so very segregated from the internet. And I was like, wow, I really think that she has thrived and done as well as she has because of that. And it honestly like made me kind of emotional and gave me hope because I was like, wow, like I think like a lot of people can struggle with like boundaries when it comes to the amount of time that I spend online or, the doom scrolling or whatever. I think all of us can get caught occasionally in that spiral and some of us more often than others. And the way that like she just completely like I got the impression, I don't think she used these words, but like the internet is like work. That is not her life. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wow, here's a woman who is clearly like uses the internet like a tool because like her stardom, her success is due in large part to the internet, as is most people's. And she uses that as a tool and she does not let that define her. And like when she talked about like, I can't throw a ball, that is not part of the metric of like my self-worth. I was like, ding, like she has clarified her values of her self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
She really knows what's in that and what's outside of that. She is so clear on that. And I was like, that is a woman who's done some internal reflection and work, and how crucial that would be for any person, but particularly in this industry that is willing to like overtly shame you or cut you out of the industry if you don't follow their metrics. And she's making up her own rules and her own values, and she's succeeding in that, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was really struck by the way that she and Travis uplifted each other. I was like so impressed by the way that he would like tease her in the most uplifting way about like her big words, right? And then she would come right back with him of like, you know what those words mean. Like, no, like you could throw me over a mountain. I'm not an athlete, whatever. And he's like, you're an athlete. And they just had this whole back and forth about it. And like they just see each other's value
Mm-hmm.
and like the lack of like shame, right? When she like asked him a question about what it's like to like see his brother on the field, and he was like, well, actually, like, we play different roles, so we're not at the same time. Like, and she was
Which
just,
I didn't know that.
I
Did you
didn't
know
know
that?
that either. No, because I know nothing about football because I don't care about it. But like the way that like he navigated that and she did too, I was like, this is genuine and real. And I think that we all see Travis hyping her up in a way that maybe we've not seen of like previous relationships throughout her life. And so I think we're all just like, oh, like that's amazing, but like that's cute. But it's like seeing this, I'm like, that's more than cute. That's more than cute. Like that's not something for clicks or for likes. I really just think that's their dynamic. And when I think about part of what contributes to our health, to a healthy mental health, it's being in supportive relationships. And that doesn't have to be romantic relationships, but just somebody who's genuinely like in your corner, knows your value, knows your worth. Like I could talk about that for a while. I feel like I could go on and on about like Jason and Travis.
Let me respond to what you had just said.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like Jason and Travis, I don't know that they thought about it all that much.
You
I
know?
don't know. I don't know, Katie, because Taylor Swift says she wants to be on your podcast. Like, I feel like you're just gonna be like, yeah, and not be like, well, this isn't really in the framework of what our podcast is about. I feel like if Taylor Swift says she wants to be on your podcast, they're gonna be like, okay.
Okay.
But I do agree with you that the thoughts of potential lashback that they get for having her on
Mm-hmm.
weren't enough to stop them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love to believe what you said. I would love to believe that about them, that they were like, yeah, let's stick it to the guys who are all over her when she's watching the football and all of this stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that they were like stick it to the guys. Like I don't know about that part. I don't know that it was like. Well, I guess I did kind of say that a little bit with like the double middle finger piece. But like I think that from I don't know. This is just me talking on my butt because I don't really know what I'm talking about. I I feel like when you're in that level of success, there's like this human component, this relational component, and there's also a business component, right? Because you have a team of people in production, you have PR managers, you have people whose job it is to help ensure that your message or your service product is consumed, right? And so from a business perspective, I think it's likely that like there was at least a conversation about like, yeah, some people are really not going to like this, or like, you know, and that was and I agree with you. It was like that was definitely not enough to stop them, but I don't know that it wasn't like a consideration at all.
Hmm.
I just feel like it was like, oh yeah, that's going to be a thing, just kind of like a calculated cost, right? Like I think they knew this was going to be a wildly successful episode. I think they knew this was going to be like, I think when you're at that level of success and you're being like, I can't imagine that like there wasn't somebody who was there like thinking through the numbers and the money and the publicity and like all of the different components of it. But I think they just chose to model something um, that is just not always associated with that fandom. And I think there was just a subtle subversion of that in the sense that they didn't have to ever say anything about it. They just modeled something different. And I think that's what I like love about it so much. Like
Yeah,
you just had to be different, and that was enough.
that's so true. That's so true. Yeah. And I do think that they modeled it really well. Yeah.
I yeah, was just absolutely love that. So I think there's probably more mental health themes that, but like those are just some of the big ones. I think like I just
Yeah.
it was just good. I don't believe for a second this woman's not been in therapy. I just don't.
I, oh, to have that kind of, yeah, boundary setting
Yeah.
on your own.
And the ability to like navigate self-worth, the ability to get clarity on your identity, like it's just the amount of work that she has done on herself is absolutely immense. And to have that
Yeah.
level of like relatability and humility, it really doesn't feel forced to me. It really, and again, like if she's acting, she should get an Oscar, like because I'm not saying that because I think that she is. I'm just saying
No.
like if I walk that out, like I don't know how you could be that humble about it. And that to me, I think speaks of genuine like authority and power is when somebody like they know their authority, they know their power and their influence, and yet they're so really,
Still really humble about it.
yeah, relatable,
Hmm.
humble, like, yeah,
Hmm.
like they
Yeah.
just, it doesn't filter into who they are, in
Hmm.
the sense of like, it doesn't take over their self worth.
Yeah. Yeah. I just need to briefly also mention the part of the episode where she talked about getting her master's back and like the behind the scenes of that. I don't have a lot to say other than like, so glad we got to hear that experience for her and like how very emotional that was for her and personal and vulnerable to share publicly.
Yeah,
Um, and I love that it was her mom and her brother.
yeah, like that to me spoke volumes of like their family dynamics, that like I
Yeah.
wanted to lead with my heart, and my heart is my family,
Hmm.
and that's who she sent. I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
she could have approached this from a business standpoint of, here's lawyers, but it was just story. And it's
Hmm.
like that's just so authentic to who she is because she's a storyteller, and she
Hmm.
really wanted Shamrock Equities to see her heart and to see her story, and they did. It was
Hmm.
really, really incredible. When she got emotional, you could like hear that in her voice. I got emotional. I was tearing up.
Oh, how could you not? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. I cracked up when she said, I'm in the business of human emotion. I was like, yes, you are. And so are we.
Yes, yes. You texted me. You were like, you like quoted that, and then you're like, same girl. I was like, same girl. We are in the business of human emotion. And like that's the weird thing because like it is a business.
Hmm.
It is. It's a livelihood. And there's an authenticity to it that like in order to do this work well, we have to be authentic to ourselves, to our own human experience. Like you have to stay very grounded in order to be an effective therapist and to be an effective storyteller, right? Even though you are running a business and you are charging for those services, right? But
Hmm.
you're still speaking to the heart of it. And that's like it it's a good phrase, the business of human emotion. I was like, I really deeply resonate with that because home emotions are not a business. And yet
Hmm.
it has been monetized. And there's a tension
Hmm.
with that, but you can just name it for what it is.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I love it when people call her a emotional support pop star. So I'm like, that's so relatable. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you wanted to make sure to say?
Ah, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful we got that. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see in 2 to 3 years all the things that she was hinting about that we didn't catch. I think this is like an inception and inception. I think that this is going to be a podcast that the echoes of this we will see in the future
Hmm.
quite a bit. And I'm really excited for it. So, um, there is absolutely no way in my mind that TS13 has not been planned. I'm pretty sure she's been planning TS13 since she was 16 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we probably got Easter eggs for TS13. We had no idea were in there. But I'm like, I just have like a gut feeling that TS13 was dropped in there and we just didn't know it.
Hmm.
So you heard it here first, or 10th or 100th times, folks. I don't know. Maybe other people are saying that, but it feels like that NYU speech. We're like, well, that's a really good speech. And then the whole thing with lyrics, feels like, oh, that was a good podcast. And you're like, oh, that whole thing was like a theme or like a tee up to like TS13. So
Uh-huh.
I have
Yeah.
nothing more to say other than that. I could just keep talking out of my butt, but there we are.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Thanks for joining us on our little Swifty chat about the podcast and TS12. And stay tuned, you guys, for so much fun about Showgirl and all of the things that are to come.
Thanks everyone for listening. We're so glad to have you along. As always, if you have any questions, thoughts, comments, we want to hear them. Send us an email at theritypodcast@gmail.com or look us up on Instagram or YouTube at Theritype Podcast. Talk to you next episode.